The call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into your Inside Arkansas postgame report card following Arkansas's 85-81 loss to Alabama in Bud Walton Arena Saturday night. How are we feeling about this? We just wrapped up the postgame reaction show, Andrew and I, and there's no moral victories. Absolutely not, especially with the margin of error so razor thin for Arkansas the rest of the way when it comes to their NCAA tournament hopes. But it's hard to be too upset about this. Like, yeah, that just another shot here or there, a defensive rebound here or there, a call that goes your way here or there. That's always going to be the case when you're a game that's this close. But Alabama's the real deal now. That's the best team Arkansas has played all season. They got down into a deep hole. And listen, could have been a situation where you do what Oklahoma did against Tennessee and just get your doors blown off. And then it hurts you a little bit more, and you got people questioning you. But Arkansas really showed a ton of fight in this game. They were down by as many as 18, rallied back, and it was a one-possession game in the final minute. Had their opportunities, was too little too late. But this was not a must-win situation for Arkansas. It would have been a doozy. It would have set you over the top. You would have been in great shape, but it was one that you could absorb if it didn't go your way. And frankly, with the way that Arkansas was able to rally back and fight in this game, when it comes to metrics and everything, net rankings and all that, they're not going to get dinged for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they even moved up a little bit. Honestly, it's not going to hurt them much. They're still in I don't want to say good position because you're very much on the bubble. You're not going to wake up and see Lenardi's new projection and he's dropped you off the list. That's not going to be the case here. So, it was a furious rally. Shout out to these guys for battling the way they did. And this makes this report card suck because we grade it win or loss every game. But some guys aren't going to get, A's or good grades or whatever. Let me set the record straight right now. It's not because they didn't care, or I didn't think they played hard, or I didn't think they wanted it or anything like that. No. I thought the effort was tremendous. I thought the atmosphere was tremendous. A+ from Bud Walton Arena. Let's get that one out of the way right now. But just lost to a really, really good team in a game that could have gone either way at the very end there. So we'll start with the offense and defense, and then we'll roll through the players. We'll try to get through this pretty quickly tonight. Offensively for Arkansas, heck, man, you scored 81 points in this game. And it's crazy because you felt like for the longest, nobody besides Big Z and Adu Thero could make a freaking shot, which was crazy. In fact, I think only 3 shots were made by players other than those two in the first half. And so for me to look up at the end of the game and see that Arkansas shot 43%, which, listen, that's not burning it up, but that's not too shabby. It's okay. It's average. It's probably about right for this Razorback team. 7 of 20 from 3. So controlled the attempt, shot 35% from out there. I think you take that from this Arkansas team. It's not burning it up. That's not bad. Got to the free throw line 21 times. I was literally going in this game thinking, man, how do you counteract Bama's high octane offense? Can you get there 25 to 30 times? But you knocked down 18 to 21. You had 15 assists to 11 turnovers, 11, which is not a super high number. Arkansas did a lot of good things here, but I think a lot of it it just felt too little too late, right? Because with 7 minutes left in the second half, a lot of us were looking at it going, man, this can't make a shot. Like the backcourt, I think at one point I tweeted out that their starting backcourt, the 1, 2, and 3 were a combined 2 of 16 with 6 total points. That's not going to get you where you want to be. But then at the end of it, you score 81 in this game and you had a chance to win. So not great offensively, certainly not bad. I think I'll give them a solid B here for what they were able to accomplish. A for the points though, because I think score 81, you felt like Arkansas would have a chance to win the game against Alabama. You felt like they would have to score some points. This wasn't one that they were going to win in the 60s with the number of possessions that were going to be played. Alabama's got the number 1 tempo in the country. So from that standpoint, good. But I think I'll go B, honestly. Offensively, you need more from individual guys, no doubt about it. But the end product, if you look at it, it's really not that bad. The one thing I did want to check is how did they finish around the rim? You had 4 dunks, 7 of 15 on layups, so 11 of 19 around the rim. Yeah, like there are times where Alabama's got 3 7-footers out there or 3 guys over 6'10" in their starting lineup. So you like to see it a little bit better, but 1.15 points per possession. Yeah, not too shabby. I'll give them a solid B, I think, on that end of the floor. Defensively, hey, you look at it and you're like, oh, man, you gave up 85 on your home floor. Well, listen, Alabama's the number 1 scoring offense in the country. They're scoring 90 points per game. And they were really good, kind of getting downhill and finishing around the rim. They shot 55% from the field for the game, but you wound up doing a lot of really good things. Held them to 5 of 19 from 3. Arkansas took more threes and made more threes than Alabama. Are you kidding me? You held Alabama to 5 threes on 19 attempts. That's really, really good. I mean, that's excellent stuff from Arkansas. Only got them to the free throw line 18 times. They were 12 of 18. You turned them over 14 times. A lot of the ingredients were here. If you guys listen to the pregame, the preview of this, some of the things that we were talking about was like, are you going to be able to turn them over? Right? How can you counteract the threes? Can you cut down on their attempts? And one of the things we said was like, if they're eyeing you up and shooting contested ones and knocking them down, shake their hand. But can you limit the rhythm threes when you're not matched up in transition? Right? The offensive rebounds that are kicked out for reload threes. You know what I'm saying? Like the missed assignments, whatever, not communicating through switches. They really did a great job of eliminating a lot of that. And I was impressed by it. So, no, we're not going to throw a parade for them, allowing 85 points and losing a home game. But there were a lot of ingredients there for them to do what they needed to do. I thought they did a good job of controlling some of the star players for Alabama. Mark Sears only had 11 points in this game. In Bama's 3 losses, Mark Sears has scored under 15 points, and he was combined 3 of 21 from 3. In this game, he scores 11 points, and he's 5 of 12. 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. And you turned him over 6 times. This was a preseason National Player of the Year candidate. Really good work, man, by Arkansas. They did some. I mean, it's crazy that they give up 85 points. I'm sitting here saying A-, B+. I'm encouraged by where they're at, despite the loss. I got to tell you, from a team standpoint, it's weird because we'll get into individually, and we'll see that some of the grades are probably lower, maybe, than they are from a team standpoint. But they were right there. Right there. Just couldn't quite get over the hump. I think this team is going to be okay, folks. I really do. I think they're going to be all right. We're going to move on. We'll talk about the players, but before we do, I got to remind you that the Postgame Report Card is presented by our friends at Bryant Technologies. Bryant Technologies is dedicated to delivering high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions. They take pride in their exceptional workmanship and commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected and secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, or TV mounting, Bryant Technologies has you covered. They service the entire state of Arkansas, as well as all of Arkansas's bordering states. Have Bryant Technologies help you with all your network and security needs. Give them a call, 870-883-0330, or check out their website. It's up the top there at www.bryantstechnologies.com. There's an S in between Bryant and Technologies. It's bryantstechnologies.com. Check them out. Quality work guaranteed. Okay. Moving on to the players. Again, we'll try to roll through this pretty quickly here. I mean, my goodness, we got to start with Big Z. He gets an A. Okay. I mean, we don't do the A+ because that's the MVP award in a win, right? But he gets an A. My God. He owns Alabama. We talked in the pregame about how he had a really, really good game with Kentucky last year against Bama. He had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks. Well, he outdid himself in this one. He owns the Crimson Tide, man. It's insane. A career high 27 points. He's 10 of 18 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, 7 rebounds in this game, had a couple assists, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. My goodness. I mean, he was incredible. He looked like a first-round pick. And that bothers me because I really want him to come back to Arkansas next year. But if he keeps playing like this, he's not going to. He looked incredible. Knocking down the threes, was scoring around the rim, was dunking it, making post moves. He looked super, super confident and comfortable, was taking care of the basketball. Just a tremendous game. Defensively, I thought he made a great impact. There was times there where he was switched off onto those little guards, and Bama's as quick as anybody in the country off the bounce, and he was like beating him to the baseline. He really played his butt off. Now, at the end of the game, had a chance there at the free throw line. and he split. And that kind of screwed up your math a little bit. And then you got a miss at the free throw line from Youngblood on the other end with what was like 4.5 seconds left. He missed the second one in a 3-point game, and he wasn't able to secure the defensive rebound there. So that's but you don't want to nitpick him too much because he was the only reason that Arkansas was in that game. Honestly, Big Z was awesome. Looked really, really good. Great to see him playing with some swagger. Great to see him emerging. He's the man. You gotta love him. Gotta love him. And then we'll work our way down the rest of the box score. We had to give Z a big shout out there. He was awesome. It's really a daggum shame that Arkansas lost this game that he played so freaking well in. Because that was a blast to watch. John L. Davis, I'm gonna go C- for John L. Davis. He got off to a really rough start, if we're being honest here. It just seemed like everything was a little bit rushed for him. I felt like Bama did a good job of having him sped up. They were really physical with him in the first half. He was trying to get freed up for three, but they did a great job of fighting through screens and staying with him. So the attempts that he did get off, they felt really rushed, right? He's almost like he was short on them, rushing into him, and it wasn't falling. And then when he was getting downhill, Bama's got a lot of length in there. He was trying to get to the free throw line, trying to get some contact, and maybe was a little bit more focused on that than taking the shot. I think he was like one of his first 8 or something. So it wasn't going great. But then he wound up getting it going a little bit, especially when Arkansas had that rally going. He was a key catalyst of it, in fairness to him. So he did finish with 13 points, 4 of 13 from the field, so not super efficient, only 1 of 5 from 3. Knocked down all 4 of his free throws, 3 rebounds, had a turnover and a steal. Arkansas was -1 with him on the floor in 28 minutes. So he was almost a net positive for him. And he really was if he's -1 in a game that you lose by 4. But you just got to have more from him throughout the flow of the game. You can't call I'll come at the end for, 30 plus minutes. We were going, dang, man, where's the dude that we saw at Kentucky or at Texas? He's not going to be that great every single game. But you needed the version that you had from him at the end a little bit more throughout. Right? Because again, it's like a 3 here, a layup there, 1 play here, 1 play there, and it could be a completely different ball game. And for a large section of it, he was kind of shut out. Now he did get in foul trouble in the first half, and one of them was just a frustration foul. He was pissed because he didn't get a call on one end, and then he wound up shoving the guy on the other end. I was kind of surprised because they reviewed it and he didn't get a flagrant. I didn't see the replay because I was at Bud. I thought he was going to get a flagrant for it. He didn't, but he battled through some foul trouble there as well. My expectations are higher for him at this point. That's why maybe the grade is a little bit harsher. Adu Thero, I'm going to give an A- to 22 points. Grant Nelson, listen, Grant Nelson is a good player. He's a good offensive player. He was barbecue chicken defensively. If it was Big Z or Thero, their eyes got as big as Bud Walton Arena, and they were just attacking him. And Thero was really, really taking it to him. He was so solid when he was in there. 8 of 14 from the field. They had nothing for him inside the arc. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds. He did have 3 turnovers, but he also had a couple steals, so did some things defensively. He's just battling through foul trouble. He only played 24 minutes. If Thero played 34 minutes, Arkansas might win the game. Now, in fairness, some of them seemed ticky-tack. Like there was a moving screen that I thought was really weak that was called on him. There was another. It might have been his 4th foul, his 3rd or his 4th early in the second half. He goes down under the rim, and he's just laying there. He fell down, and the other guy steps on him, kind of trips over him, and he gets whistled for the foul. That's just tough, man. So a couple ticky-tack ones on him there. But, man, he continues to play some really good basketball. Carter Knox, D, I guess. Could probably go a little bit lower than that, honestly, but he just played so damn. I can't fail anybody. Nobody. I mean, who cares what I think? But I just can't justify giving anybody an F when they played so hard to rally back in this game. But he starts for you. He gives you 30 minutes, and he's got a goose egg in the scoring column. Starting wing in the SEC, you got to be able to put some points on the board. 0 of 4 from the field. Really struggled with Bama's length. I think he gets a little too caught up. Trying to create space, trying to get a little bit of contact and get separation around the rim, or trying to Euro step or hezzy in there, as opposed to just exploding and finishing above the rim. So kind of missed some bunnies. Didn't get a 3-point attempt off. Had 3 rebounds. I thought he played about as well as you could ask for defensively. It was tough for him because he starts and Bama goes huge. So they've got a 6'10", 6'11" kid in Stevenson who's playing the 3 there. So he's given up like 4, 5, 6 inches in height. So that was kind of a challenging matchup for him there. But man, Arkansas, you got to get points out of them. How did they get to 81 points in this game when you have a starter who doesn't even score for you? And he's been really, really good here of late. This was not his best game. Arkansas -10 with him on the floor there in 30 minutes. DJ Wagner, C minus maybe for DJ. He did some good things. He had 9 assists to just 2 turnovers in this game. That's awesome. I didn't realize he had 9 assists until after the game when Andrew pointed it out in the box score. So that's really, really good, getting guys involved. I bet a lot of those were to Big Z, right? 8 points. And so he did a good job of getting to the free throw line. He was 6 of 6 there, but only 1 of 6 from the field. Same story as with Nelly, where for a large stretch of the game, you're looking at your starting backcourt going, you're not getting anything out of these guys. And he was one of those. Defensively, I thought he played really, really hard, did a good job there. So I'll give him the C instead of the C minus maybe. But you would expect to have more shots and more efficiency there from him, although certainly impressed with the assist. We already talked about Big Z. He was phenomenal. The bottom 3 guys here. Trevin Brazil in this game, I might go D+ or so, C-. Wasn't his best. He's not going to be a big statistical guy, I guess. He just doesn't want to shoot. I don't understand why. He had a lot of opportunities. I thought he could have taken a 3 that he passed up. He did have the putback dunk late in the first half. That was key because Arkansas didn't have any of their scoring on the floor. And so that was a big bucket there. 6 rebounds. I like it. That's good. A couple blocks. I like it. That's good. But Arkansas is -15 with them on the floor in 18 minutes. So we've kind of been doing this thing where we say, well, I know he's not scoring a ton, but you can really feel his impact, his energy. He's making a difference when he's out there. The things that don't show up on the box score weren't necessarily there in this game, comparatively speaking, to others. So hopefully he bounces back here pretty soon. Arkansas is going to certainly need him against LSU. Billy Richmond, Billy was awesome. Played 26 minutes. His right shoulder's hurt. I don't know what's going on there, but he was getting some treatment on it during halftime. He was cramping at one point late in the game. He played so hard defensively. He had Mark Sears frustrated. Sears had 6 turnovers. Some of those were directly related to Billy Richmond hounding him. An absolute dog in there. He was knocking down the mid-range. He's a big part of Arkansas's rally. Had that nasty transition dunk that he just threw down with authority that had the place going crazy. Finishes with 9 points off the bench, ran the point quite a bit. 26 minutes, is that a season high for him? It might be. 4 rebounds, couple steals. I thought Billy was awesome. He's an absolute dog. Have been waiting to see, some of the scoring, some of the offense come along with what he does defensively and with his energy and his intensity. It was all there in this game. Really, really proud of Billy. That's a big development. That stretches your depth, your rotation a little bit, because it's been, you got your 5 starters, and then like you look at Trevin, you look at Jonas, and you look at Billy, and they're playing, 10, 12 minutes, whatever. Him playing 26 was a big development, especially with Arkansas in foul trouble. And he was a big time player for him. He was -1 in 26 minutes in this game. So nice job by Billy. Jonas, listen, he's either hurt or it's one of the largest drop-offs in SEC history from a guy who was all SEC to being virtually unplayable at this point. I hate it. I like Jonas. I've always admired him so much as a player. He's a great dude. Thought he was the most improved player in the SEC last year. He's just not right out there. I do not think he's healthy. And people, I know that Chin Coleman doubled down on it. They haven't heard anything about any lingering effects from his injury. I know Cal said he was at 100% a few days ago. Does he look like it to you guys? And I did the thing all year where I was like, listen, John L. Davis didn't forget how to play basketball. I feel the same way here with Jonas Adu, but until he remembers how to play or he gets healthy or whatever, Arkansas's really got to figure some things out there, because there's just too large of a drop off right now, which is crazy, because for a while there it was you couldn't take Jonas off the floor because there was a huge drop off when Z came in, and then now it's flipped. Like those two guys haven't been in sync and playing well at the same time all year. You get 7 minutes from him. He came in early in the game and just settled for a couple just mid-range jumpers. Just not really what you're looking for there. Came back in late in the first half when Thero and Z both had 2 fouls, so you really needed him. And they couldn't even keep him in there for the 4 minutes because it just wasn't working, man. He's just a little bit lost out there, a little slow. And so they take him out and they wind up going with Brazil at the 5 and then 4 guards. Well, then John L. Davis picks up his second foul. So it's either you play with 4 or you bring in Melo Sanchez or you go back to Jonas. And they put him in there and he misses another shot in the paint. And then, Nate Oates draws up a play with 20 seconds left. And it's to attack Jonas on a post up, and they score on him right there before the end of the half. And that was a little bit of a momentum swing there. I hate it. I mean, Arkansas, if we're looking for ways for them to level up a little bit more, it's by Jonas Adu being able to give you just a solid 10 to 15 minutes, but they're not able to get that right now for whatever reason. So I don't know, like they're going to have to continue to give him looks because you just don't have enough bodies. Like Big Z is just not a guy who's going to be able to play 40 minutes for you every game. He's just not built that way. In some games, you'll be able to play Trevin more at the 5. And other times you might even be able to go super small, but you have to continue to turn to Jonas and hope that the switch flips for him a little bit. We've seen some good play from him in SEC play even, but the last couple of weeks, something has just been off there. And I know people do the thing of like, oh, he's got his NIL, he doesn't care or whatever. But when I watch him on the bench, he's up, he's cheering, he's meeting guys that, when timeouts run out on the floor, chest bumping dudes. He's doing the bench celebrations and everything. Like he seems pretty engaged to me. It's just not really clicking on the floor right now for whatever reason. So hopefully he figures it out. But it certainly didn't happen in this game. So, like I said at the top, no moral victories, but I think there's some things to be encouraged with here with Arkansas. These last 3 games, I think, have proven that kind of remember what Cal said a couple weeks ago of, hey, we're not a great team, but we're pretty good. And I kind of agree with them now. Like, I think Arkansas could really be a team that winds up in that second tier in the SEC, and that's good enough to get you to the NCAA tournament. And then you'll see what happens, but they got to be able to finish some games and probably win more than they lose down the stretch if they want to get there. I'll be anxious to see what the analytics show tomorrow morning. But I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Make sure Andrew Ellis and I are going to do a crossover pod live stream later on Sunday about 12:30, talking hoops, talking baseball, talking football, whatever you guys want. It's a Q&A before the Super Bowl. Tap in for that. Should be a good time. We'll see you guys then. Have a good one.